What's some relationship advice you'd give? Or how to get a girlfriend?
How is a girlfriend?
What is some relationship advice you'd give to someone my age?
Oh, oh. Uh, don't do yourself any favor by doing more or showing more than you can possibly do in anything. I mean, if you're gonna show off by running the block or something like that, fine. But make sure you know what you're doing. 'Cause they don't. I met my wife on a Friday at the bowling alley. First Friday I met her, I was introduced to her, and it was a group of us young teenagers, all older teenagers too. I just got out of the service on a Monday, and I went there on a Friday to meet my friend, and he introduced me to the people there. And the next Friday I went down there again, and that's when I had purchased a car by then. And the bowling alley was walking distance of where I lived and where most of those people lived, because it was through a church group. So I said, well, anybody can fit in my car, I'll take them home. So by the time I looked around, I had people almost hanging out the window. But it went down to this lady, her sister, and one other lady that ended up in my car after I took, So I was the one, I was driving, and we met at the bowling alley, and I said, after we get through bowling, I'll take everybody home. Again, like I say, it wasn't that far. So we ended up at a restaurant that had a BLT and a coffee and whatever. I said, all right, now it still stands, I'll take everybody home. So I unlocked the door to my two-door Pontiac I had at that time, and opened the door, and there this blonde-haired lady with glasses on walks in, sits right smack in the middle of the front seat. Well, good, I don't know, other than being introduced. So I let everybody else in. So it ended up with 6 of us adults, and she was still in the middle of the front seat. We went up to this restaurant, had a BLT or whatever, and I was on a Friday. I said, now, I know we're all the same, about the same age, 21, 22. I said, next to Wednesday or something like that, there's going to be a big band orchestra playing at the Hippodrome Theater, and I'd like to go see it. I said, how about if we make a date to meet, and I'll pick you all up, we'll go see the big band. So my friend says, yeah, I'm in. Another guy says, yeah, I'm in. One lady says, I'm in. Other lady says, I'm in. And this blonde, sitting next to me, hadn't opened her mouth yet. She ended up my wife. But I says, how about you? Okay. So that was really our first date. And she was, things that I noticed, she wore glasses, and I don't ever remember dating a lady that wore glasses. She was a natural blonde, which I could tell, and I said, well, don't remember meeting a blonde-haired lady like this. And I thought that she was a little more secure and being a little older than me. You know what I mean? She wasn't too talkative. Well, I found out she was older than me by about a year, but that was down the road. But
So you met her in 1946.
Yeah, I got out of the Navy in I think it was March of '46, and somewhere in September, I think we became engaged. So I dated after I come out, I dated other ladies. There was one lady, very nice lady, 2 houses down from where I lived. And at that time, we all grew up together, so we didn't call it dates. We just all went out together. And she was one of the few that I could depend on writing a letter to, that I would get an answer back within a week or so.
During the war.
During the war, I was out there. Well, I don't know where the mail had to go, by way of China or something, to get to where I was in the Philippines at that time. Well, my ship was always moving.
Yeah.
They never left us. Very seldom did we get to tie up, except to fuel, take on water and other supplies, because the piers out there were far and few between, and especially in the Philippines, there weren't that many. Manila was the biggest town, and I don't remember ever being in Manila. Subic Bay was on the South China Sea side of the Philippines. We spent some time in there because there was a dry dock there that could take our ship, and we were leaking. Ship was made out of wood, right? And we were leaking, and she needed a real good dry dock and planking repaired. So they did that, and we did work down in the engine room on items like a valve that would open to the sea. Well, you dare not take that thing apart if you're in the water. You only take it apart if you're up in the dry dock, or else you. So there's a number of valves like that we had to take apart, check them all out, and examine the seating arrangement, because the two valves got two pieces of metal that come together and then either open all the way, part way, or whatever. So we had and some of them we had to put a lapping compound on the seat of each piece, put it together, and then seat it by hand. So you got a good watertight seal when you close that valve off. You don't want water coming in someplace you don't want it. And we had a number of openings that opened out to the sea. Each one of our main engines had their individual check and stop valve, they called it, that would let water, salt water, ocean water, come through a heat exchanger. We would not, the water in each engine was fresh water with no other treatment.
Well, it's all